117 points. That's a new Reynolds Center record, as well as the 9th most points scored in program history. 66 points in the second half is also a facility record. Coach.
Thank you, Tom. This was a game that I was concerned about for a number of reasons. Arkansas Pine Bluff, I think Coach Bozeman does a really good job. They had a really good weekend in Chicago. They win at UIC. They played DePaul to a 4-point game. They've got talent. They can score. And we're in final exams, too. And that's always a tricky time in a student athlete's life, just juggling a number of different things. So was concerned about just, how we'd be able to compete. And early on, you could see that it was a little bit of a struggle. And they're tough to handle defensively. And then finally, we had that one stretch in the first half where we just started to get enough stops and started to loosen the game up. And then, credit to our guys, just the way they shared the basketball. There was a number of individual plays that were made tonight for each other as well. And, to put up that kind of points says a lot about the guys.
Talk a little bit about guys getting consistent playing time off the bench. Lawal coming in and 20 points. I know it's not the first time he's played well, but he's been doing a pretty good job for you. Talk about the luxury of having a point guard coming off the bench who has as much talent as he has, and just talk about his development.
Yeah, he's just a freshman, but he's a very mature freshman, both physically and mentally, and he's a worker. He spends a lot of time at this. He's one of those guys that we targeted early in the process, and I'm just really happy for him to experience some success. I mean, he's worked at this thing, and the way that we're playing, we have a lot of ball handlers. We have lots of different shooting, and we want guys to be able to connect with one another. But tonight was his night, and we've had a lot of guys have different nights, and tonight was Jalen's night, and he had it going, and guys were finding him, and he was able to get to the basket against their pressure. So I'm just really proud for him and his development.
What was your message to him in the timeout when Pine Bluff did take their lead in the first half?
Yeah, it was really more about the defense and how they were cutting on us. They were getting some threes. Jaquan Scott was really he was going. I mean, he was getting in the mid-range. He was getting around the basket. I didn't like our effort. I didn't like our execution because of that. But it was just really challenging our guys on the defensive end to get some stops.
Do you take anything specific out of setting the Reynolds Center record?
Not really. I mean, I think it was wasn't our intention. I never once thought, as I've written down goals to get that record. But if it happened, great. And if it happened, probably I was hoping that it would come with a win. So, and somebody didn't outscore us for that record. But I didn't even really know what the record was, to be honest. Although Bill reminded me that it was when I was a GA here. So
you have been with both of them.
Yeah.
This is the third time you scored over 100 in the game. You've become, more efficient this year in that regard. I mean, kind of how do you balance sort of playing at that pace, but also getting the defensive effort that you like to try to get?
Well, it's the beauty of playing with depth, and every game is a little bit different. Our game on Saturday is going to be very different than this game today. Sometimes teams want to run too, and so now it's more of a track meet. When we played Northern Iowa, it was different, and you've got to be able to play multiple styles. We want to be able to use our depth as a weapon and try to get the game to where we have a first wave and a second wave, and normally, a lot of times in that second wave, the starting unit with the opponent might feel like, okay, we got a lesser player coming in. I can turn this up a little bit, but we don't have a lot of drop off. I look at us having, 8, 9 to 10 starting type guys, and trying to manage not just minutes, but effort and lineups and continuity and consistency. But we're demanding a lot of these guys. I mean, we have a Connexon system, and we'll be able to tell, but guys ran a few miles tonight. I mean, we're running hard and getting up and down this floor, and we want to be able to do that.
So is the New Mexico State game, you feel like it's perfectly timed stepping up against presumably a much better class of opponent, I guess, and to do it on a neutral floor. When you talked about that yesterday on the show, it's an important game. It's a good net ranking game, potentially.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. But just, you feel like it's maybe you'd rather have one more day to prepare for it or recover and then prepare. I don't know, but you feel like it's perfectly timed to go play this game?
Yeah, it's the way it laid out and the way that we could get this game too. I mean, these last couple games we were really trying to get it home because we spent so many days on the road, and also knowing that we were finishing up the semester and having final exams coming. So it was important that this next game was a drive. I know they'll have a week in between games, so they've had a whole lot more time to prepare. I believe they're in final exams as well. But playing good teams always comes at a good time. I mean, we like playing good teams, and New Mexico State is a really good team. It's on a neutral site. It'll mimic kind of that conference tournament type feeling of playing one of those games, and I know Coach Hooten will have them playing hard, and they've been off to a good start.
So, pardon me for not knowing this, but who's the other game down there?
I think this is the only game.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because you mentioned it was a classic, and I thought, oh, it's a 2-game thing or something. So it's just this matchup.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you've had the gamut of experiences in your career, and there's like really good seasons, and then there's really special seasons, right? And I guess you can't have the special without it being really good first, but do you sense that there are the pieces and momentum and potential for this becoming a really special kind of season for you guys?
Yeah, I think we have a chance. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. You've got to be good. You've got to be consistent with your effort to still improve. You got to have some luck too. You got to stay healthy. You got to have some good fortune in that regard. But I'm very excited about going to work with this team every day and trying to think about ways for us to get better, and just tack and try to stack another good day. And that'll be the mission for tomorrow.
So when you go deep into the portal, and I mean, I don't know what the reasonable expectation is. You hope to get maybe 3 guys that you can trust to rotate, but to have 9 or 10 who can really, really play, it must result in great practices and then a great comfort level. If somebody's maybe not shooting it well or not feeling 100% or something, that you can go deep in your bench and get the same result.
Very similar. I mean, that we have versatility where we have some guys that can play different spots, but we've really this summer had them compete a lot, and I think they earned each other's respect. Of, man, we've got this is fun, this is competitive, and you could figure out that a lot of guys like to compete, and then the way we're playing offensively was really a function of what our personnel was and what we saw. I mean, we have 4 guys back from last year. Tyler Barron has really improved. Ian Smichael has improved. KJ Martin redshirted last year. So we know some of these guys, but we learned a whole lot from the competition this summer, and there's continued to be competition. If a guy's not playing well or playing very hard, we've got another guy that can come on in. So that's the beauty of it all.
Was there a guy you thought who came in and you thought, well, we'll see what we might be able to get out of him, and either during the summer or even since the season began, you're like, ooh, what a nice bonus. This guy can really go for us.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I think there was a different level of production that we were able to bring in this year. If you look at a number of guys have played minutes on their previous squad or have won, it was different than in years past. So there's a number of guys that have bigger resumes, and so we had a better idea of what we thought we were getting. I will say this, Ramad Dean was one of the last guys that we signed, and what a great fit, because he can play so many different areas. He can stick a 3, he can guard a lot of guys, he's really athletic, he's twitchy. He was a perfect piece for what we had, and so a great credit to our staff for finding him.
Was there one one particular guy who might have influenced the decisions of others because of a reputation or something, or is this just kind of you got a little pixie dust right now with the chemistry piece of it?
Yeah. Well, we have we have a certain thing that we try to find, right? Our program philosophy is we want attitude, be really positive people, energy givers. We got guys that are totally committed to being better and putting the program first, and that just guys that love basketball, and then guys that are going to do things in a first-class manner. I just think TU is one of those places that we're small in our student body. Tulsa is one of those places where you walk around and people will say hi, and we're looking for a certain type of guy. But I do think like Terrence Ford Jr. and Miles Rigsby competed like crazy against each other in the Sun Belt. They knew each other, but we had a lot of guys that didn't really know each other once we got here. We met the first week of June up in the President's Suite upstairs, and I went around the room and I said, "Hey, who here knows everybody's name?" Not one guy knew everybody's name, and so that's how far you come.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
One more guy for you. All right, you guys got Jalen. All right, next up we have tonight's leading scorer, Jalen Lawal. He had 20 points all in the second half, along with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Jalen is also the first TU freshman to score 20 points in a game since PJ Haggerty. Open up for questions.
Okay. Talk about your expectations coming into the year. I mean, you're getting a lot of playing time. You're having production. What were your expectations? Because you got a talented team here. So what were your expectations coming into this year?
I have a great team. So one of my many expectations was, playing not. I didn't expect to start, but I also expected to play a lot. So, coming into every game, I expect to play, have a great, showing and get everyone else involved, get myself involved. And I think that helped us today.
What do you think the best part of your game is?
My physicality. I'm definitely strong, a very strong guard. I weigh 210 pounds, so I can definitely guard and I can definitely move people out the way offensively.
What do you think, I guess, or how has the pace at which you guys have been playing, how has that sort of evolved from when you guys first got together?
We definitely gotten faster as a team. We move a lot faster. We guard a lot better, but I still think we can guard a lot better than we have been. We move the ball well. We didn't do that much, early summer, but as we got closer together through the school year, through the summer, we definitely share the ball a lot, so we've gotten faster through everything.
Coach Uncle has talked a lot about kind of the balance and depth of this group. What is the competition like, I guess, in practices to try to be in the group and to kind of earn minutes among these guys?
I feel like every day in practice, especially in the summer, is very competitive. We played every day. So, we always were going at each other. I had great guards that I had to guard against. I had great guards that were defending me. So I feel like I've gotten better. My team's gotten better. But, throughout the school year, throughout the summer, we've gotten a lot better.
Early on, there was a blip early on. Pine Bluff came back. There's timeout. Kind of what was the message and kind of the thought on the bench when that happened, and kind of how did you guys respond to that?
I think the main message that was relayed to us was guard, rebound. I think as a team, we do offensive rebound very well. Defensive rebound, we do that very well. But guarding is one thing we do struggle with, I think. So I think if we do that a lot better, which we did coming out of that timeout, I think we'll be really good.
So whether it was during the summer or into fall practice or even since the season began, when did you guys start looking at each other and saying, oh, this has a chance to be really interesting?
I think it was mainly when we first met. You know, I came in from high school, came in from a great prep school. I came in, I'm sitting in my locker, I see all my teammates walking in, I've never met them, but I just had that feeling of it's going to be a really good year. We're going to have a really good connection as a team, which we do. So I feel like that's helped us a lot.
I know this is kind of a silly comparison, but not really. But the Thunder has role guys who may not play much, 2 or 3 games, and then they'll help them win a game, right? Like Kenrich Williams, guy, like type of guy. And so, in the ball movement with the Thunder's crazy, right? And I see a lot of the same pieces here. I just wonder if you're influenced by them, if you watch them closely. Who's your favorite team at that level, or favorite player for that matter at that level?
I don't watch them personally, but I know our coaches definitely do. They definitely get a lot from every NBA team, especially the Thunder. But you know, we do that. You know, we do have players that come in and help us. Like myself, you know, I don't always score 20 points a game. I'm averaging 8 points, but this game was a great game for me, and I helped us win.
So who is your favorite NBA team?
Favorite NBA team, the Lakers, because LeBron's on the team.
Lord.
LeBron's on the team.
Oh my Lord! Not for long.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. So, did you ever dream? This could be interesting. That Austin Reeves would do what he's doing.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
I wouldn't.
at OU on his best night, he scored a couple of 40 games. He had a couple
Yeah,
of
no,
40s.
he was really good at OU, but
right. But I mean,
doing what he's doing now in the NBA, I didn't think he would
right.
do that.
Right. All right. Cool.
Anything else for Jalen?
No, thanks.
Thank you.